Hello and welcome to the second OSHA training. We'll be going over modules 10 through 17, and in the next slide we'll be going over the exam. Remember that there's only two OSHA training series, so yes, those are going to be compacted into one exam that is 40 questions, and again you will have 2 hours and 30 minutes to complete the exam, so that is ample amount of time for you to get that done. Take your time, read each question carefully. Do not assume the answer, but rather read the answer. It is right there. The answer is there, I promise you. Okay, so there also will be a review going out a couple of days before the exam. Make sure you go over the review before the exam. For the exam, you will need internet. If you do not have internet, let me know before you plan on taking this exam, as I do have to print out the exam, get it to you, and it's a whole process. So I will need to know that ahead of time. If this doesn't pertain to you and you do have internet at home, no worries. I will send the exam via a link through your email, so confirm that your emails are all correct. If you did miss the previous session, there is a replacement quiz as well as a recorded lecture, which if you did mark that you did want those, I will be sending those your way. If you want to take the quiz to practice for the exam, let me know. It will be, so the replacement quiz is also a practice quiz, and if you just wanted to practice and see kind of like how the exam works out, as a replacement quiz / practice quiz is very similar to the way that the test is set up, so you could get a practice on that. The quiz is open for 24 hours, so there's no need to worry about timing. You could start it and then enter it later on, or let's say you failed the first one because you didn't finish it, then you have like almost unlimited amount of tries. I think not unlimited, but you have 10 tries, which that is enough. You can practice those, and this will help you with the exam for sure, as a review is taken straight from these quizzes. So yes, it will help you a lot to go over these quizzes. I can provide, yes, I can provide those via email. Just let me know. The test is 40 questions. I did mention that. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes that you have to take the exam. You must complete the exam in one sitting. You may not use your notes or the review for the exam or any quizzes, anything. You cannot use anything for the exam except your brain. Head knowledge. That's all you can use. So, and your computer. That's it. Your computer should take the exam and your brain to answer the questions. That is all you can use. And honestly, if you do study, if you go over the review, if you practice the practice quizzes, if you're listening to the lecture, you should be good for the exam. Also, another thing to keep in mind, the exam, you cannot exit out and go into another tab, as after, I think it's 3 tries, no, 2 to 3 tries, somewhere in that range, it will kick you out of the exam, and you will have the chance to take the exam twice. The first chance will be, you will have a chance to enter into a competition, and basically there's a prize. So the first person to complete the exam with 100 and complete it in let's say Johnny completes the exam in 15 minutes, gets 100, and Sarah completes the exam in 25 minutes and gets 100, I will give the prize to Johnny, as he completed the exam not only in a quick, prompt time, but as well as got 100 on the exam. You will need to have 100 and be the quickest in order to win the prize. And the prize is a gift card of $150 to $100. I think it's either Target or HEB. So that's just a free gift card that you could win if you do well. And you will have the chance to make 100 if you, again, study the quizzes, study the review. You can listen to the lectures. That will help as well. If you really have this basically like the back of your hand, if you understand this like that, you will get 100 and you probably will complete the exam very quickly. So yes, the results will be given to me in terms of what you made, and it would also tell me how fast you took the exam. So yes, take your time and read each question and answer carefully. Do not assume the answer. That's what gets people. So make sure you read each question and answer carefully. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. So eyewash station and safety shower safety program. No area hazards to determine where eyewash stations are required. And no appropriate signs that are placed to indicate the location of eyewash stations and safety showers, and no operating instructions that are placed at the units. I'm pretty sure we have an eyewash station at the north side. We do. Right there in the back office, next to the microwave, there's an eyewash sign that shows you how to stand and how close to get in terms of the eyewash. In order to perform the eyewash, you remove the caps. You press the sink button, push it all the way, as that will block the water from going out of the faucet, and rather it will go through the eyewash container or tubes. And you do have to know how long that you need to have the water running in your eyes, so that's 15 minutes. And you need to know how many gallons of water it uses per minute, and that is 30 gallons. So it is a lot of water, and it's just going straight through your eye to, if there's any dust, let's say you get a nail in your eye, this is scratching your cornea, anything can get in your eye, especially if you're not wearing personal protective equipment like safety goggles. Yes, you will run your eyes through the eyewash station, and that is it. This is the video, and I will leave that with a link in the description below. It will have the title eyewash station or eyewash, whatever is smaller, and you should know to click that link in order to watch the video. Once you're done watching the video, go ahead and come back and we will continue on. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the next module. So, General Safety Awareness Program. So, the workplace is maintained free of hazard to employees. You will inspect the workplace for hazards that are likely to cause death or serious physical harm. You will know the processes, places to correct hazards, know general safety rules, see guidelines. So basically, general safety of the workplace. This is pretty straightforward. You shouldn't be standing on a chair to reach for something. Rather, it's better if you use a ladder or a step ladder to reach for something. A chair is not safe. It's not meant for you to stand on, but rather for you to sit in. So just knowing the general safety, anything to prevent hazard for employees, and not only for employees, employers as well. And not only for employers, but as well as customers, like impatients and stuff. You wouldn't want hazard to occur at all in the workplace. So we're just trying to promote a general safety program in order to prevent hazards or incidents in the workplace. Here is the link to the video, and again, this is the title that it will be under. Just go ahead and click the link in the description. It should be the second link. Once you're done, go ahead and head back and we'll get on to the next module. Alright, let's go on to the next module. Hazard Communication Safety Program. So you will determine if hazardous chemicals are present in the workplace. You will ensure the availability of a safety data sheet for each hazardous chemical or mixture in the workplace. You will ensure a hazardous chemical list is maintained. You will know proper labeling of chemical containers in accordance with globally harmonized system, GHS requirements, and you will know the process to evaluate and document any new hazards or changes. So we do have a safety data sheet located with Dr. Sanchez. So if you have any questions in regard to the safety data sheet or you would like to look at it, you can always email me and I can go ahead and obtain that from Dr. Sanchez. Just the safety data sheet will go over hazardous chemicals, what to use if it's spilled, how to clean it up. The safety data sheet will also tell you what happens if you come in contact with this hazardous chemical. It touches your arm or something and is very corrosive. What are you going to do to prevent the corrosive eating chemical from basically eating up your arm? So what can you do to prevent that? So the safety data sheet just goes into depth of that. You will also, through the safety data sheet, know the proper labeling for each chemical container, and there will be a chemical list maintained. Yes, and if there happens to be any hazards occur, incidents, anything, if you see a hazard, report it to your supervisors. So either your supervisor is Dr. Roth or Dr. Sanchez. Again, if you see the hazard, report it. Don't ignore it. That's how incidents occur. This is how problems happen, is employees, employers, patients, customers see these hazards. They don't do anything about it in hopes that someone else will do something about it. And this just progresses the problem. And not only that, makes the problem worse in the future. This could lead to danger or death if not taken care of. And you can think about it as simple as, let's say I see a spill on the ground. I don't do anything about it. I see the spill. I assume that Stacy knows about the spill, so she'll do something about it. I do not report about the spill. And then after a while, whatever bottle was leaking, the spill grows. A patient comes into the patient room and slips on the spill. Now we have an incident. Now we have a problem. And if I would have just maybe reported this spill to our supervisor or reported the spill and they said, oh, clean it up this way, and I would have cleaned it up that way, we would have prevented this incident with the patient. So it's just important to know that if you see a potential hazard, report it. It's as simple as that. And there's no harm in reporting something that you see is wrong. And here's the video to that. The title should be Hazard. And the link will be right next to it. Go ahead and click on that video and watch it. And then when you're done, come back and we'll continue with the modules. Alright, let's go ahead and get on into the next module. So Laboratory and Chemical Hygiene Safety Program. So know the chemical hygiene officer. Know the CHP given by the CHO, including chemical hygiene policies, standard operating procedures, and chemical inventory. Obtain and maintain safety data sheets for all hazardous chemicals. So CHO is chemical hygiene officer. A chemical hygiene officer is basically someone that implements the chemical hygiene plan, which that is CHP. So chemical hygiene plan is a plan, again, to prevent any hazardous occurrences from happening, and the chemical hygiene officer implements that. So just know chemical hygiene officer and the definition of that. Know what a chemical hygiene plan is and the definition of that. and what it covers. And then just know that safety data sheets are what contains the hazardous chemical solutions and resolutions. All right. The video should go into more depth about chemical hygiene officer and a chemical hygiene plan. So again, our supervisors, Dr. Roth and Dr. Sanchez, are usually the chemical hygiene officers, as they are trained with chemicals. They know what to do in regards to chemicals. Since they are trained in it, they are fit to be the chemical hygiene officers and to implement the chemical hygiene plan. You wouldn't want someone that's a newbie being the chemical hygiene officer and they know nothing about the hazards, the chemicals, hazardous chemicals, and what to do with it. That is just not correct for them to implement a plan when they have no idea how to even deal with it to begin with. So yes, Dr. Sanchez and Dr. Roth, again, are our chemical hygiene officers, and that's just good to keep in mind. Okay, personal protective equipment safety program. For the previous slide, I believe that there was not a video, so just know the chemical hygiene officer and chemical hygiene plan. Personal protective equipment safety program. So you will document a hazard assessment, know what is protective equipment as required, know the use, care, and maintenance of the equipment. So just know we will go into depth about the different personal protective equipment. So there's eye protection, there's face protection, there's hand protection and arm protection, there's foot protection, there's body protection. So there's various different types of protection, and these protect you from hazardous chemicals, infectious materials, whatever it may be. This protects you from that. So for example, gloves. Gloves are known as hand protections, and they protect you from, let's say you grab something, it's covered in blood. You have a cut on your hand. You don't want that blood from this cloth or whatever that was infected with this blood to enter into that cut, and now you have that into your bloodstream. That's very dangerous when you could just wear the gloves, pick up the bloody cloth, and it's not entering into your cut. No bacteria, viruses, blood-borne illnesses are entering into your system. Yes, that's just one example of personal protective equipment, and there is a video that goes more into depth about the personal protective equipment. Just know the different types of personal protective equipment. Alright, the link is right here. It should say personal. It'll just probably say personal. The link will be right next to it. And then once you're done, come back and we'll go ahead and go on to the next module. Alright, let's go into the next module, Walking and Working Surfaces Safety Program. So just ensure that aisles and passageways are of proper width and appropriately maintained. You wouldn't want a hallway filled with boxes and things, and it's so cluttered that you're squeezing by. That's not safe. If one of the boxes falls on you and it has heavy materials, it's just not safe. Provide personal fall systems, covers, or guardrails for floor, wall openings. Usually the buildings that we are staying at have these guardrails, covers, and fall systems. Just know what to do in regards to that. And the video should go over that in depth. Ensure that floors are not overloaded and that load limits are indicated. It's simple as long as you can walk by with your hands pretty much straight out like a wingspan, you should be good. So just making sure that you have that the ability to walk in hallways, rooms, anything freely without having to squeeze or anything like that. Ensure materials are properly stored and not obstructing aisles, passageways, stairways, or other areas where they could cause a hazard. I mean, it's pretty simple. You don't want a box in the middle of the hallway and someone doesn't notice it, they trip over it. That's just unsafe. And again, report unsafe conditions. If you see something, if you see a box and you don't know why a box is in the middle of the hallway, report it. It's as simple as that. Maybe the supervisor knows why there's a box in the middle of the hallway. Maybe they don't. You can move the box, but what if the box is there for a reason? You never know. It's just better to report it, and if Dr. Roth or Dr. Sanchez just tell you, hey, move the box, then move the box. Yes, so just keep those in mind, and we'll go ahead and go into the video. The video will go into depth in regards to walking and working surfaces. Make sure you watch all the video, and even with the previous videos, make sure that you're watching them and not just skipping to parts, as you'll probably be skipping some answers or questions that will be on the exam. So pay attention. It's as simple as that. The title will be walking and the link will be right next to it. Just go ahead and click that, watch the video, and then once you're done, we will go on to the next module. Alright, let's go ahead and go on to the next module. X-ray and radiation safety program. Identify where radiation emission equipment is used. No radiation safety officer who's appointed to oversee the written program, controls, training, and any monitoring required. So the appointed safety officer is anyone that is basically registered to perform X-rays. And that is, again, our supervisors, Dr. Roth and Dr. Sanchez. They are registered. We do have an X-ray machine. It's in storage, but we are not currently using it. But if we do take it out of storage, we start using it, we must know how to work it and get it and perform it well. And our supervisors will basically appoint you if they believe that you are worthy to perform or use the X-rays. Just keep in mind that X-rays and radiation machines are dangerous, and if not used properly, they could cause contamination of radiation poisoning, etc., etc. So just keep in mind that is like that. It's not some toy that you can just play with. It's an important equipment that uses radiation to see bones, practically. So just ensure that equipment is maintained at the required frequency. You don't want it too high or too low. Employees who use or are exposed to the equipment and to radiation sources are trained to levels appropriate to their exposure level. You wouldn't want someone that's using this equipment all day, every day. If they're using it from 9 to 9, that's just exposing yourself to more radiation than needed. Maybe you could switch it out with someone else. Whoever your supervisor appoints, your supervisor should know the appropriate radiation levels for one person, as they are, again, trained with this, so they know more in regards to this. There was no video to this slide, but we're going to go ahead and go on. That was the last module in regards to the actual OSHA training. Now we'll be going over what to do and what happens with an OSHA inspection and how do we act, how do we react. So I'm going to do OSHA inspection. That's probably going to be the title, and the link will be right next to it. Just click the link. The video will go into depth of what to do. If an OSHA inspector comes, do you give them all the information you want? Of course, you shouldn't be doing that, as you could get in trouble. And what you say to an OSHA representative. Usually, if you notice an OSHA inspector here, don't try and take control. Give it to Dr. Roth or Dr. Sanchez, as they've dealt with OSHA representatives before, and they know what to say and what to do in regards to that. It's better safe than sorry to just give the problems to Dr. Roth or Dr. Sanchez, as you wouldn't want to say something that could lead the OSHA inspector to be suspicious of something or whatever. It's just better safe than sorry. So go ahead and watch the video, and that should be it. Okay, yeah, go ahead and watch the video, and when you're done, we'll go ahead and go on to the next slide. All right, so the certificate check. So once you're done, we have finally, yay, we've completed both OSHA trainings. So once you're done, I just need your signature. If I've already gotten your signature and you've completed it, perfect. Make sure that you sign and date. But when you sign and date, that just, you're acknowledging that you have and understand modules 1 through 17 for the OSHA training. Remember that you will not receive your certificate unless you pass the exam. You will need a 70 or higher in order to pass. You have 2 tries to take the exam. The second try will not count in terms of the competition if you're wanting to be in that. And if you do fail the exam, just email me. We will go ahead and I'll provide an alternative. Just letting you know, the alternative will not be fun. It will be tedious and very boring. So simply put it, study, do well on the exam, and you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything else. Yes, so once you're done with that, just go ahead and email me if you need to sign the certificate. I'll go ahead and get that done for you, as I would like to have the certificate signed before I give you the certificate, as I will make it look nice, pretty, laminated, and all that jazz. So now you've completed your OSHA training. Don't forget to take the quiz after this. But yes, if you've already taken and listened to the first lecture, then you should be good. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this second and final lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions in regards to anything, go ahead and email me. My email will be provided in the description below. And I'm so grateful that I got to train you for this OSHA training. All right. If you have any questions in regards to anything, quizzes, exams, review, feel free to email me. Again, my email will be in the description below. All right. Have a great day.